Welcome to the Orange Couch Talks, a deeper dive from our leaders into our recent teachings.
Hey guys, welcome to the Orange Couch Talk. We are back and we're really excited because in these coming weeks, we're hoping that some super stuff happens, right? I mean, this coming weekend is the Super Bowl, and as always, these guys have lots of sports opinions and insights about this coming up.
I think we should make our picks. Do you know who's in it?
I think there's... I know there's two Auburn players on the Buccaneers, so that's why I'm going for them.
Okay, so what are the teams that are in it?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And they're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go.
Who only has one former Auburn player, so that's why I'm not going for them.
All right, so who are you picking? Chiefs?
I'm going for
Bucks,
Tampa.
just because they have more Auburn players.
Yes, and Tom Brady.
Well, yes. Who are you going?
I'm going to pick with my heart and say the Buccaneers here. I'll throw down 34-31 Bucks.
Oh, you even going to score. I think it's unanimous here. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is a little more in my heart than my head. But I've notoriously I like front runners. I like dynasties. I like
you are a front runner.
The
that's for sure.
story of Tom Brady. I like winners, right?
Whatever.
Hashtag winning. I like the fact that Tom Brady could. I mean, really, not that he hasn't already solidified himself as the GOAT. I think it'd be cool to see him do that without Bill Belichick too, and with our former coach Bruce Arians. I told him not to get rid of that guy. He was a great coach, and they should have kept him.
Fake retired, so he's like, I have health issues, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
And then a year back,
him and Urban Meyer both have health issues when they have bad players. But when they have good players, they feel much better about life. So that's the Super Bowl. Hey, favorite Super Bowl you've ever watched? What's your favorite Super Bowl?
So, I mean, I'm so bitter about it. But the best year, I mean, the Cardinals
the
and
one time they were in
Steelers
it.
but it was one of the best Super Bowls
It was
ever.
a good one.
I cried after, and I'm still bitter about it. But I would say favorite, since that didn't end well, and we got ruined. We got screwed out of it. His feet weren't in. He had one foot in. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. But the most entertaining Super Bowl was Brady's last one is coming back from 28-3 to beat the Falcons.
Yeah, I almost think it's a Brady Super Bowl for me, but when he lost here in Arizona
Oh, that was heartbreaking
with the Giants and the helmet catch.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty good.
That guy wasn't even good. That was like the only catch he practically made in his career.
Well, he used his head.
He used his head,
Yeah.
and Eli Manning just pulled it out.
Yeah.
I don't even know who was playing, but the one all I remember is when the power
This
went out.
is going to be
with
about the
Beyonce,
halftime show.
But sort of. But I had at that point in time, all of my staff at the church that I was working at, they were all pretty young guys, right? And so we had them all over and gave them a whole bunch of pizza, and it was the most fun I've ever had watching.
You don't even
football.
know who played.
No, I couldn't tell you who played, who won.
But Beyonce was
it
there.
ended up there's pizza getting thrown at people's faces, and people were in headlocks and stuff. So. You asked most fun I've ever had watching a Super Bowl. That was it.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Somebody won that game, though.
Yeah. Very good. So Super Bowl, we got some super stuff coming up, right? I hope.
That's what I'm hearing.
Listen, I'm so excited about turning up the temperature, putting a little gas on the fire of this thing that we call Weekend Church. And so if you're watching, not this weekend, but the weekend after next, which is Valentine's Day weekend, woohoo! And we're starting a new series on relationships that week. Actually, it's an old series that we tried to finish last year, but coronavirus did not like a relationship series, so we had to close things down. So we're going to go back and pick up Solomon. We left off the Song of Solomon. What a great weekend for romance and all of that, and we're getting closer to Easter, and I just want to say I think we all need to kind of put our arms around everybody and say it's getting closer to that time where it's going to be okay, even for those that may be a little more sensitive about their health issues. It's going to be okay to come back to church. I mean, it's vaccine. They're doing an awesome job rolling it out. I've talked to numerous people in our church that already have had their second shot. And we're going to get past this. And I was even talking to a pastor from the East Valley who has a couple of doctors and a guy in the pharmacy business in his church. And they've been really putting their finger to the pulse of this thing. And they think by the middle of the summer, this is going to go back to complete normalcy, which is like, I welcome that.
Yep.
But I think there are people watching this that rightfully so have been online. Man, we miss you. We miss you so much, and we can't wait to see you in person. I said to our staff a couple of weeks ago, I went to a deacons meeting. Maybe I even said it in this. Did I say it this time?
Last week here.
We're running out of content. I'm just regurgitating stuff that he said. But just seeing guys I haven't seen in a while in person, man, that's gold.
Well, and through this season, it's been really cool about being able to do more stuff online, be more creative online, get better online. But that does have a season. And there's something different about being together with people, doing fellowship, having community. And it is great if you're watching online, but we don't want you to stay there forever. We want you to engage with your church family.
You can't come to the Orange Couch in person, though, because there's not enough room. But
we'll
so this will have to remain online into perpetuity. But there's extra chairs in church.
You can have a studio audience at some point.
That's
have them clap,
nice,
and cheer. Or like, boo, that was a bad joke.
That'll be probably what I was thinking.
But even like with our rooms aren't as full as they've been in the past, but there's just like this last Sunday, we just had great energy and just felt like God is doing something special.
That's usually because the preaching's so good.
I don't know about that.
It's so incredible. It's on fire. But no, I will say that I do think you can get the preaching moment a little better online than the worship moment.
Absolutely.
And just as one who has been at home worshiping, only hearing my voice when I sing, with my wife next to me, is like, can you be quiet? But there's just something about worshiping together, corporate worship, didn't lose its value in a year's time. It's still hugely valuable to your soul. And I would say to you, because I've heard a few people say, well, we just kind of like it online. I would say to you, that's good, but if you don't think you're missing something in your soul, then that's how far your soul has gone. From remembering what it was like to be around the family of God, worshiping God. And most of you did that for years and enjoyed it. It was good for your soul. And I think this is a season when we come back. I do think there's going to be a spirit of revival in our hearts, because our spirits and our souls are going to be revived just because we get to be in fellowship with one another. God did not create you to be isolated. It's not good that man should be alone. That's one of the first bad things that the Bible says, I guess is the first bad thing the Bible says about humanity. It's not good that man should be alone, and it is good. As the psalmist said, I was glad when they said unto me, let's go into the house of the Lord. It is good for us. And for a season, we've had to abstain from that in some cases. But I've Zoomed with some people this past Sunday afternoon that are onliners. And they have great reasons for being onliners. There's one lady, she's like, I only have one lung, so I have to be really careful. I'm like, I get that. For sure. But even from her perspective, she says, but we can't wait to get back. We can't wait to be in the house of the Lord. And they're, getting their vaccinations, and we'll be there soon.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody that has just moved in the middle of the pandemic, and unfortunately we've moved more times in my life than I've wanted to, but this time's been completely different than every other time, because for the first time we've moved into an area we can't build relationships. We can't get out and meet people. And so I can't imagine what people feel who are missing their friends and people that they know. But I mean, without the community, especially built around the church, without being able to get into the church and get to know people and make connections and have people pray with you, man, you're absolutely right. Your spirit is starved. I mean, I can't wait for things to start to remove to some normalcy. Partly selfish, like I need friends.
Yes. Yes.
We've been trying to get you friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that may not be coronavirus related. That may be other things.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Starved spiritually.
Into that. But yeah, I think we're all, and here's the deal. I mean, like, I get it. We're in church. My main job, I wouldn't say it's my main job, but it was a big way you measured whether I was doing my job, is gathering a crowd, growing a crowd. If you're a pastor, you get measured right or wrong by, is the crowd getting larger while you're there or smaller while you're there? Sorry, I'm sitting on my phone and it keeps ringing.
You're very
and
popular.
Somebody in Albuquerque wants to talk to me, probably about my extended warranty on my car.
It's important. It's probably running out soon.
It's already probably gone. And I'm so,
Chance to renew.
yeah. Where was I?
Building a crowd.
We're measured by building a crowd, right? And that's how we measure. That's the scorecard that we've used, right or wrong. I had a little timeline picture come up on Facebook the other day, and it was a picture I took on Labor Day weekend at our church, our first service. I snapped a picture, and the caption was like, "When God surprises you," and the house was full on Labor Day. And it was like packed. I mean, like our worship center, and was like all the chairs was out, and it was still packed with people. And that was a Labor Day weekend. And I'm like, gosh, here we are. It's January, which is our high season for attendance historically. And it's like, man, I don't know if we can put all the services in the room and it looked like that. I miss those days.
Yeah.
And so we're measured by the ability to source a crowd. And that's been frustrating that it's not gone as we would like to in COVID. It doesn't mean it's not going to return to that, but I do think there's going to be a day when that starts going back. Even like, if you've ever been in a church where it was this size, but it started growing, it wasn't at the end of the growth that everybody was excited. It was like, oh, there's more people here than last week, and there's more people here than last. I think we're going to get a natural revival that's going to happen as people start coming back. Well, oh, look, there's more. And amazingly, I think what's going to happen for us here in Arizona, which will be the first time ever, be a prophet, let's see if this comes true, that in the summer, we're going to have some of our best growth days over the winter and the spring. And we're like, man, we're killing it in July.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fun. So there's fun days ahead, and I think there's more safe days ahead for people to attend as the vaccine gets pushed out, and then I think as the natural thing kind of runs its course and herd immunity. I'm talking like I know things about
You're
scientific stuff.
So it comes
follow the science is what I'm saying, and I don't know what that means. But
I don't know why I'm wearing this in the middle of the video.
Oh,
can you put your mask on, please? I feel uncomfortable.
Nope, I just threw it over there.
Well,
I can't reach it anymore.
okay. All right. Well, I've been vaccinated.
Well, with that being said, I remember. So one of the things that we're dealing with, like in Levine's even more shut down than Surprise and stuff like that. And it was interesting when we first moved there. We talked to a lot of people, and they were like, we've lived here for so long, and we don't really know anybody. And me and Cody hear that pretty frequently when we move into an area. And every time we've moved somewhere, people are always shocked. Like, how have you met so many people so fast? And the answer's always been the same. We're connected to our church. I mean, there's just power in being around people that are seeking God together, no matter where you're at. And so, I mean, whenever things are opening back up and you feel the confidence, the excitement to return to the church, you need to. There's just something so relationally healthy, spiritually healthy, mentally healthy. I mean, there's even been studies done that shows that people connected to the church actually are maintaining their mental health better through the COVID season than people who aren't connected to church. And why is that? Well, God, like, you're doing what God created you to do, and it helps you be what you were made to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in this, it comes to a good place to challenge. There's a lot of our people who are watching, because if you're watching this, you're probably tied in or connected to our church in some way. And maybe it's for what step can you take? Maybe if you've been coming once a month, What does that look like to come twice a month? If you're coming twice a month, 3 times every single week. How can you increase, be more engaged, whether it's on the weekend, it's in Bible group through the week, and take that next step? And maybe if you haven't been coming at all and you've been on that fringe and you've had a little fear, this is the time where it starts to maybe take that step of faith that we're being safe in our services. We've created that environment so we're not being reckless, but that you can safely return and engage with God's people. Because here's some of, and we've talked about this a little in the past, some of the fear that we're seeing is we can get so comfortable in our routine. We get comfortable in like, I got my Sunday mornings free, I can just hang out, that it's like, it's fun to watch online on demand. But you're missing out some of the blessings that God has for you.
Yeah. And, you know, the other part of that, and kind of wrap this up with this thought, but the other part of that is that you're missing out on being the blessing and the encouragement to others. It's hard for me to encourage you from my house. I may need to see you. I mean, I get it. We can text people, we can phone people and all of that. But there is a limitation to that. And that does have a shelf life that we need. I mean, we're not all going to be, you know, what's the, was it Denzel Washington movie where he's isolated on his own?
Oh, that's Will Smith.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend with Will Smith.
That is Will Smith.
I Am Legend. That's a great movie. Yeah, he had a dog. I used to have a dog.
Pandemic, though.
And it was a pandemic, and he's like, eventually I got to go out with the zombies even. I mean, I'm going to have to just
hang out with the zombies.
I'm gonna have
I
to
don't watch that
find-
movie the wrong way.
I got to find somebody to hang out with. But even with I Am Legend, that had a shelf life to it. And so what I'm saying is my movie
This is how, like,
knowledge is
see,
incredible.
pastors, we can make anything mean anything
Yes,
related to.
yeah. Just trust me. But here's what I want to wrap up with is like, I think it's time to re-engage that invite culture. Because for a while it's like, should I even invite him to my church? Would that be...
Is it not loving right now?
Yeah, would that be unkind or
insincere?
whatever? And I really believe, hey, listen, there's something worse than getting sick and dying. It's getting sick and dying and not knowing Jesus. So this is our moment in time to invite people to the gospel. And also this is our moment in time to maybe like be missional in our approach. I mean, missionaries historically have gone into dangerous places. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Jim Elliot, you might get killed. He did. But the gospel influence expanded and blew up under the legacy of Jim Elliot and other missionaries like him. Jesus, you know, went into the leper colonies. Missionaries have historically gone into the dangerous places to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I really don't know if I would even make an attempt to apologize by saying that this is a time that Christians ought to be on the front lines, not in the rear. We ought to be on the front lines, inviting our family and our friends to the church, to the gospel, and to the Lord, because and many of us are living as if death is so inevitable to us right now, that if that is true, then doesn't that mean even more so we should be sharing the gospel with people around us and engaging people that Jesus loves? We love you. There's no easy answers to any of this. These are just three guys' ramblings, but hopefully in it is some hope that this thing is going to end. There's going to be some super days ahead, not just the Super Bowl, but there are going to be some super days ahead. And we want you to be a part of it because we love you and you bring value when you're in the room. God bless.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe, and don't forget to go out and make Jesus known.